Still working 9 to 5. So good to have you here. Thanks for making the trip out. I think I'll sit a little bit closer. Why not? Excellent. Camille, Gary, Larry, Garnett.
Gary.
Oh, wait a minute. I got you mixed up. How is that possible? Let's talk about being twins. Introduce yourselves to the group, because how do you tell each other apart? I just made the mistake.
Okay, am I good? Okay.
You're good.
How you doing, guys? My name is Gary Lane. I'm the older twin by 8 minutes. That's why I always talk first whenever we go in order. And just a little bit about us. We grew up in a small town in North Carolina, and we've been in LA for about 20 years now, kind of chasing the dream and doing everything that you do. Some of our bragging rights, we won a show called Fear Factor, Twin Fear Factor. We won like $50,000 on that, so that was a pretty awesome show. And then there was another, thank you, there was another show that's even harder than that. It's called Wipeout, with the big red balls and the obstacle course. So we won that show too, which was very hard. So we just we pursued twins. We do red carpet interviews in LA. And this documentary was something we started 4 years ago. We're very proud of it. And so we'll tell you guys a little bit more about it as we go. Now, this is Larry. He's the blockchain, and he knows everything that you guys know. I don't know any of that stuff. So go ahead.
And I'm the smarter twin, so I took all of his algebra exams, which is why he's sitting here today. So, but we've switched out, and I drive more, so I put speeding tickets in his name. So we've had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, honestly, Bitcoin and all of that paid for 75% of this movie. So I've been into it about 4 years. So, and then we've got the amazing Camille Hardman, who we love, and she's our producing partner. So
fantastic. Well, welcome, Camille. Maybe you want to just introduce yourself to the group. I think you were here yesterday, but maybe from a slightly different angle today.
There we go. Hi, I'm Camille Hardman. I'm a documentary maker. I've been making documentaries probably for about 15 years now. I've traveled around the world. I started off doing animal documentaries and then moved into human interest. And so when this opportunity came with the guys to do Still Working 9 to 5, I jumped at it. I thought it was great. I'd created a show on HGTV DIY called Restored. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but I was also doing a lot of television and house shows, house renovation shows. And I was actually working on one of those when the guys suggested that I come and work on the documentary with them. And at first I was like, no, I've got to continue working on Restored. And then the opportunity came to do this. And then I did it full time, which is fantastic. So 4 years later, here we are.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the original film was 40 years ago.
1980.
42 years ago. And where were you guys 42 years ago?
We were 5. We do remember seeing it in movie theaters, maybe.
So what gave you the idea? What gave you the idea? How did you come to decide to make a documentary about a film that's 42 years old?
Yeah, well, there's always been talks about a sequel with Dolly, Lily, and Jane, wanting them to come back together. So in 2018, it really kind of hit the mainstream that Dolly, Lily, and Jane had all agreed to do a sequel if the script was right and they were comfortable. So that was when we kind of got the idea on the fandom side of 9 to 5, because it was a movie, it was a TV series in 1982, a hit song, it was a musical on Broadway. Now it was going to be a sequel. So I was like, how many films have ever done that? So that was our initial idea for what we wanted to do, was document all the 9 to 5 iterations leading up to the sequel. But then bring in Camille, Camille is amazing. She loves to research, and she really sailed in, and she kind of called me the next day and said, this is what you don't know. And I'll let Camille add in what she brought to the film idea that has turned it into what it is today.
So I actually didn't know a lot about 9 to 5, the actual movie. But then when I started doing the research, I realized there was this whole history of, how it started with the 9 to 5 organization and the women's movement, and that Jane Fonda was very, very close friends with a woman called Karen Nussbaum, and she had started this organization for women in the workplace and secretaries, which were, there was 40 million secretaries in the 1970s, and they'd realized that they weren't getting paid properly. So we thought it was very interesting, and we thought, let's do it. Let's combine the sort of the drier, history with the fandom, and really, make something very exciting and entertaining.
So I just watched the trailer, and I see Dolly, Lily, and Jane in the trailer. How were you able to get them to actually participate?
We actually we're really good friends with Dolly's creative director, Steve Summers. So we brought him on as an executive producer very early on. And he said, I think if I can get y'all to sit down with Dolly, the rest of the doors will open. So we really got Dolly first. And then once everybody found out she was attached, exactly what he said, everybody else really came on board right after Dolly. So
It sounds easy, but it's not. It was 2 years of chasing them all down. And one thing about it, right before the pandemic hit, Dabney Coleman, who was the boss in the movie, he was our last one that we needed. He's 91 years old. He's sharp as a tack. We got his interview on February 20th of 2020, and then literally a week later, the world shut down. So we were able to have all of our interviews done. So during the pandemic, we were able to edit the film basically for 2 years straight.
Wow. Well, it's very exciting because there's so many components to 9 to 5 and still working 9 to 5. I know that I have 2 young daughters, and I don't think they've seen this movie, the original movie, but I would like them to see the original film and then watch your documentary once it's released, because I think it'll really show them sort of a past history. And as young women in the workforce now, they're just starting their 9 to 5 jobs. It's wonderful for me as a dad to see the empowerment. Tell us a little bit about the message behind your documentary and what you hope will actually transcend from people seeing this again.
I'll start. Who works 9 to 5 anymore?
That's true. They both work from home, actually.
Exactly. I don't think anyone here works 9 to 5. So I think
7 to midnight.
No, exactly. 5 to 9. That's what we really wanted to call it at one stage, was 5 to 9, but we didn't. We knew that they wouldn't get the association with the original film. So I think the message is, and which is why I love the concept of, Web3 as well, is creating an equitable space and creating an equitable workplace. And that is something that hasn't really happened, over the last 40 years, particularly for women, and then women of color, people with disabilities. It is still a hard place out there for many people. And, this documentary gives a voice to some of those people who talk about, their experiences. And Lily, Dolly, and Jane also talk about, what they have tried to contribute to this area as well, to make it, give people an understanding of, what has changed, what needs to change, and what still needs to change.
And I think one thing that me and my brother learned, as far as, our mom, our niece, we have women in our lives that are in the workforce, but we did not know things like the Equal Rights Amendment has never passed. So women are not in the Constitution. That was up for a vote in 1982 and it was struck down, and it's never been revisited. So a lot of people, when they see the film, they're shocked to know that women are not in the Constitution. So these were things that we learned along the way. And a lot of the core issues that the movie had to deal with humor and, locking Mr. Hart up on the ceiling and things like that, they were still hitting sexual harassment, equal pay, equal job advancement for women, universal daycare, and all of these things 42 years later, women are still fighting for in the workforce. So we kind of do the same approach with the documentary. We approach it with a lot of fun, a lot of humor. You've got the women sharing funny stories, but we're also hitting on those issues and saying something needs to change. That we always said with this film, because it's getting such a huge buzz out in the media before we play, if we could see the ERA pass and women get in the Constitution, and we could see the sequel finally be made with all of these relevant women who are still standing tall in the entertainment industry, we would feel like we've accomplished something.
Wow.
And they took all my answers, so I'm just happy to be here.
That's so fantastic, and thank you guys for your hard work and your dedication. All of you, you've just done a wonderful job. I've been blessed to be able to watch the documentary, and you guys are in for a treat when you see it. For Starwire and for a lot of the technology people that are here today, maybe tell us a little bit about your vision tech-wise and what you're interested in and what you're getting from this event.
Real quick, I'll do the duet. So real quick, I gotta give one shout out to the Duet, because we could make a documentary just on the making of Dolly Parton and Kelly Clarkson coming together to do this duet. So it is like a slow and haunting version, and it's going to be just exclusive right now for the South by Southwest audiences in March when we have our world premiere. But it will be released on a main platform worldwide, hopefully when we announce our streaming sale sometime in May or June. The Duet will be out where everybody can purchase it.
And I think the real goal, like with Starwire, we really wanted to, we know we're going to get a lot of attention from the documentary. So we really want to get into that NFT world. And I really know the cryptocurrency side. I know Bitcoin, all that blockchain, but everybody's really getting on this NFT hype and everybody's coming out with NFTs. So I think we've just got something, not only we can bring that out, but we can really help with women's rights and do a lot of things for women out there. And that's the real goal of us partnering up with these guys. And we're really excited to be here.
Isn't that exciting?
I'm actually going to add to that. So I think the other thing that's very interesting for us is smart contracts. And it's our ability to be able to create and utilize our IP that we will be able to, give to other people, but also benefit from long term. I think one of the things, if anyone knows the traditional media, royalties have gone out the window. And that was something that used to be able to support people. That is absolutely gone. So the more people that can actually, who are content creators, get into this space and keep their IP and have the ability to, contribute, their message, but also benefit from it in the future would be fantastic.
That's so wonderful to hear. Thank you for saying that. And let's give them a round of applause. But before they leave the stage, we have another special treat for all of you out there. For a couple lucky people, we have a couple of tickets that we're going to do as a giveaway. And maybe one of you can tell us a little bit about South by Southwest and what that means to you. And
well, we have been trying to get into the film festival, because what you do when you finish the film, you submit to the festivals. So Sundance was one we were initially trying for, but then they went online because of COVID. So South by Southwest, it's a part music festival and film festival. So they really reached out and wanted to give us our world premiere. So we were very excited about that. It looks like it's going to stay on where it's going to be an in-person festival. And our world premiere is March 13th. That's a Sunday. We're the featured matinee for the opening weekend. And then we also play 2 more times during the festival, the 14th and the 18th. So we were going to offer 2 tickets to any one of our in-person screenings. We will all be there for the event and just see who can come and win the 2 tickets.
so, Garnett, why don't you tell them how they can enter to win?
Is anyone excited about actually going to the? Okay. Now, number one, you need to be able to actually go there, right? So you need to be what is the date again?
It's March 13th. It's in Austin, Texas. And then we're also the 14th and the 18th. There are 2 other chances you could come.
Yeah, and normally to get into South by Southwest, what is that ticket price?
Okay, so just set the scene right here. We told all of our friends and family in North Carolina, you're going to be able to buy an online pass and watch the screening. That is not the case. South by Southwest is a badge-only festival. So the badge alone, if you want to be able to go to all the movies, is $1,800. And then if you only want to do the online screening, it's $500. So that opens you up to all 100 films. But people in North Carolina, no matter how much they love us, are not going to pay $500 to watch this movie. So.
Okay, so this ticket, 2 people are walking away with tickets today to this event. So, yeah, that's worth the price of the, whatever NFT Connect cost you. This is just bonus. So we want you to go to their website, stillworking9to5.com. There's a connection email address on there, which is stillworking9to5@gmail. Yep. So go there, just write us an email with your name and phone number, and just write in NFT Connect session, and you will be entered. And sometime later in the day, we are going to, we'll do the draw, and we will announce who that lucky winner is.
Maybe put in the preferred date as well, the 13th or the
The
18th.
13th will be the world premiere. That is in the biggest cinema. I think that's an 800-seat cinema. The 14th, we play in a 400 cinema. And on the 18th, we also play in a 400-seat cinema.
So put in your preferred date and go to the website, which is stillworking9to5.com. And I think everybody is getting ready for lunch pretty soon. So thank you so much for being part of this little presentation. We're very excited to get working on these projects, both on the music and on the film side. And you all have a backstage pass.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. And thank you, Gary, Larry, and Camille.
Thank you, guys.
Garnett.